Let's start. Yes. Well done. You can rest while learning. No, but it's okay. I'll call him. But you can first come and translate the first things to see. First have the translation. Okay, all right. Thank you for coming. Well done. It's the beginning. Initially, you might not see the value of the effort, but it takes time.
Kugamba nti mwebale nnyo kujja nga bulijjo ebiseera ebisinga oyinza mu kutandika oyinza obutakirabamu mugaso naye bw'oba otandise otandika okulaba omugaso nga gujja.
Okay, so yes, my name is Dr. Yakub. I am a doctor, the manager here. I think you have been practicing mainly with our coach, Yasin, our operations manager. So we want to talk a bit. Every Saturday, we take some time to talk about health and things to do with health. So I think you will benefit from it. I believe so. So today, we shall be talking about genetics. Anyone have heard of the word genetics? I think at school. Yes. What is genetics? Okay. Yes. So, what role does our genes play, or our inheritance play, in our longevity? Here we call it Center for Healthy Aging. So the reason why it is that healthy aging is to age, but health-wise. Yes. I can ask you, how many years do you want to live?
I may want more years, but God determines.
True, but you can say it. Please.
100.
Okay. Yes. Okay. All right. Next.
But when I'm energetic.
Me.
Correct answer. Okay. Yes.
80.
80.
Yes.
So you want to live less years than your.
I don't. When you become so old.
Okay.
You become a baby, and then you start depending so much, and I don't mind personally. I don't want to.
Okay. What about you?
60.
60. Eh,
And
no.
by the way,
How come the age is reducing?
you think even years, by the way, years are running. You can't
Yes,
see.
I would have thought the
Your
younger people.
60s,
But
you're
you have
saying, eh?
scared me.
You no longer need money.
Let's ask.
Eh. That is a judge.
Can, you can ask Chacha for me.
Ya babadde babuuza bagamba nti babuuzizza ono nti eyali agadde okuwangaala emyaka emeka amanyiise yagambye ayagala at least 100 ate gwe ogamba wali agadde kuwangaala myaka ng'emeka. Hmm?
19.
Nga 9.
90.
90.
Okay. How old?
She's 85.
Eight.
Yeah.
Okay, 5 more years. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Okay. That is good. So it is important to talk about living and living long and dying. But I think one thing which I had mainly is when we talk about living long, we associate with sickness. You become a baby. Another word they say is a vegetable. Say someone becomes a vegetable. So, which is unfortunate. But here, what we are trying to do is for you to live long, but also healthy. Because I think we might have come across, at least in the village, you see someone who is in their 100, but
100. You're still
they're
like
active. Yes, yes. Unlike town, which I think is becoming very rare. Yeah, to see someone like that. Okay, so longevity, that's the word which we use here. And longevity basically refers to the length of your life, how long you have lived. Uh, so it has two sort of subsets. One is lifespan. If you have lived for 80 years, that's your lifespan. The other one is what we call health span. So you could have lived for 80 years, but if you were sick for the last 20 years, you can say you might have only lived for 60 years. So the last 20 years, you were just a vegetable. You're just in the bed. I think which is becoming more common as we live longer now. So what role does our genetics, our inheritance play in living long? Uh, of course, our genetics play a role. I think you are likely to see someone whose their parents lived longer for them to live longer. But is genetics the only thing which matters? I think if that was yes, we would not be here today because you would not have been exercising if you believed, yeah, your fate is already determined by your parents and your genes. So, most importantly here, we believe it's a combination. Yes, your genes are important, but also your lifestyle, but also the environment. Yeah, I think the lifespan in here in Kampala will not be the same as in maybe South Sudan because of the environment. Yes. So the environment is also important as it determines how long we live. Uh, so they say now the genetics contribute at least 20 to 30% of our longevity and how long we live. So it's that. So if you lose that one, at least you can manage the other two. Even if your genes were bad, you can still overcome them. So mainly our genes helps us with. So what is aging in nutshell? What do we say once someone has aged or aging? Uh, so aging in nutshell means our cells. So the body, of course, has these small cells have lost the ability to repair itself compared to when you were younger. When you were younger, if you have like a wound, that wound will heal in seconds. But the older you get, the slower is the healing of that wound. So that's what aging is. So even the reason why you can see the face starts getting wrinkles is because the face is not repairing as quickly as it was supposed to, as it was repairing when you were younger. Uh, and that's why they sell out of these chemicals, mainly to women, to help you to repair the skin. Uh, the other thing is also stress. That our body has the ability to deal with stress, but when the older you get, the less ability can the body handle stress. So, for example, if that young man falls down from maybe this window, he will stand up, but Chacha, if she falls down from here, she'll have a fracture. Yeah, most likely. So even how we repair. Okay. So yes, there are different genes in our body which determine how long we live. I think that one will not be important. So let's say now we talked about genetics. What about lifestyle? What are the five main things? Even here we deal with uh, exercise. You have been doing that. Yasin here, Coach Yasin here will take you through mainly diet, because eating, what we eat, how much we eat. We are what we eat, and I think if there's one main difference between lifestyle today versus 50 years ago, it's the food and yeah, dieting. People shifted from eating matoke, cassava to rice, spaghetti, cafe chavas, KFC, chicken, chips, chapati. So that's the new diet. Soda, things which were not there. But of course, also exercise, lifestyle. When someone lived in the village, they not, for example, if you go to, say, like the village, they will not understand what an exercise is. What's an exercise to a village person?
So
Because their life is literally an exercise. They don't look at exercise as something they have.
a hole. They exercise.
Yes, it is their lifestyle actually. Whether you are working, digging the hole, maybe you are walking to town, it's literally part of life. But because now we're here in town, exercise has become something which is on its own. One is actually part of life for someone who is currently in the village. Also, lastly, stress. How we deal with stress. Stress is very important. Actually, here, that's why we focus, as we had, I'm sure, from him, the body, the mind, also the society, biopsychosocial, what we call. Because yes, you can be healthy physically, but if you are not healthy mentally, if there is stresses, if there are things which are disturbing you, that one will still impact your physical health.
But,
Yes, please.
there's sometimes when you're not stressed,
Yes.
and when you're generally there's nothing stressing you.
Okay.
But you doctors, you tell us psychologically you're stressed. That's
Okay.
what I want to know.
Okay.
Yet you know you're
Good
okay.
question.
There's
Yeah.
nothing, but they're telling you you're psychologically stressed.
Okay. Okay. That's a good question. So I don't know why the doctors said it that way, but if I can take a guess, I would say so. For example, hypertension now, common disease, is today's type. Up to now, we don't exactly know what causes hypertension. There's no clear. There are some things which some conditions, but majority of hypertension, we don't actually know the direct cause. So it's easier sometimes to say it is stress, which can also be true. The more stressed someone is, the more likely they're going to get hypertension. So,
Right. For me, how I could really answer that question, it is like you as a patient or a client, you've come to me and you've told me all your symptoms, what you're passing through. You might not be stressed, but the moment you tell me sometimes, for example, maybe you get some sudden palpitations from nowhere, your heart falls, such a kind. Of course, there is nothing that comes in such a manner when there is no stress. So, depending maybe on signs or even from the speech itself from the client, I'll be able to detect and say this person is psychologically stressed.
yeah. Yes.
Doctor, I'm trying to get because
Yes.
I personally
Yes.
I'm a victim of that. That's what I'm saying.
Please, can you tell me more
So
about
me, I'm
what
not
happened?
stressed.
Yes.
Okay, like years back,
Okay.
I think I focused too much on the job. I was so
Yes.
stressed
Okay.
because I used to do the things of contract work.
Mm.
Eh? When there is no project, maybe you're
Yes.
not working, you're not earning.
Yes.
So I was so stressed. And you know Uganda of today, there are many who are still good. who are graduates, they
Yes.
don't have jobs.
Yeah.
They are stressed by that.
Definitely.
So I reach an extent, I say, I've handed everything to God,
Mm.
what I want. I know God's timing is always the best.
Yeah.
So I thank God. God gave me a job.
Yeah.
And I became okay. I
Yes.
was no longer being stressed about that one.
Yes.
But the way I explained to you,
Mm.
when I went to the hospital,
Yeah.
I got that because I explained to the doctor.
Yes.
I got some changes. You feel weak from nowhere.
Yeah.
You feel weak.
Oh.
Those palpitations, what? When you go there, they do blood count, they do
Oh,
everything.
okay.
You're okay.
I've
And at
now-
the end of it, they
Hey,
say
okay.
anxiety.
Okay.
Now what
So,
is that?
Okay.
okay. Another thing, as you said earlier or before, you see our body, that is the main challenge we are facing once
Yeah.
it comes to the current healthcare system.
Mm.
For them, they see our body as spare parts, you know. That's why they focus so much on signs and symptoms.
Mm.
But our body is supposed to be seen in whole. As he has also tried to touch on something I was telling you before,
Yeah.
the body, mind, and the spirit or the social,
Yes.
the environment you're living
True.
in has a very big impact about your life.
Yeah.
You might think that maybe you have to be stressed, but in actual sense, you're getting other problems from maybe high cholesterol levels. They're affecting other organs and they are
Yeah.
altering some hormones. You end up in that manner.
Mm.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yes.
So I didn't think of saying stress, psychological stress.
Yes, I think
Yeah,
okay.
someone-
Maybe another reason why it is sensitive is because of there's an element of stigma with stress, which now like anxiety. Anxiety, yes, there are people who actually faint, can have failure with the breathing becomes difficult, but someone can actually faint. What we call a panic attack, and there's a lot of anxiety. So I think, as he also said, there are differences on how, because if a doctor goes to a lab and they take your blood and they don't see any
Everything is
issue,
okay.
so someone has to give you a reason. So
And even the cause,
yes,
they thought that would be the cause is also fine.
Mm.
yes,
Then at the end of it, you tell me anxiety
Yes.
because you fail to get what you want.
which is true, which is the problem, because now that doctor is not trained enough to manage also psychology and the mind, so you just say stress, so you go and handle your stress. That's what it comes out as, not that. Let us discuss.
Prescribe.
Yes,
Prescribe.
maybe.
Everything. They just see things superficially.
Yeah.
Prescribe.
Mm.
Per
So,
guideline.
and
I
I
know
think,
you even take the medicine you're also supposed to do.
Definitely.
thank you. I think you can appreciate why we do what we do here, because of it's hard to understand initially, but it is really important. It is true.
Definitely.
You can be taking a lot of medicine when you don't need actually the medicine.
Yes.
Yes, because that doctor or that hospital still has to make money, so there are things which happen. But yes, so I think we can continue if you are satisfied. What we shall discuss further. So another important thing is the environment, and how our environment impacts our genes. So I can give you an example. If you, maybe your mother now, when she was pregnant with you, um, the environment was tough. Maybe there was a war, or there was a lot of hunger. That tells actually your body, when you are still in the uterus of your mother, that when you come out, things, bad tough things are waiting for you. So the body can, the genetic stem cells can change themselves to prepare for one, for the environment. So actually our body can adapt, and you can say that's why a lot of people who are Africans have these conditions more than even whites, because our body to some extent was not prepared for the food and for this lifestyle.
Processed
Yeah,
foods.
this processed food, because we believe, yes, you can say deep down, our maybe our grandfather, the great grandfathers, they had food, but there was a small enough food you eat. There wasn't real sugar, there was not refined sugar, so the body was prepared for that. And our genes are still their genes, so our genes have not changed. It's the environment which has changed. So I hope you can see now when there is a mismatch between our genes and our environment, that's why we have these diseases of today. Yeah.
And also another thing, for example,
Mm.
on the very point which he was trying to explain about how our foods have changed. Another good example to look at is the sedentarism itself.
Yeah.
Our body has not evolved to be in that calmness, you understand?
Yeah.
This behavior or the lifestyle we have copied from the whites. Let's say, for example, us moving to job while seated, you work while seated, you come back home, you sleep, maybe you add on the highly
Yeah.
processed foods. You see those whites to some extent, there are other people who will tolerate that man and they will a little bit remain slender. But here in Africa, the moment we live
Mm.
in that much comfort, our body starts building up very fast because we were used to look for this food after
Yes.
sweating, but
That's it.
now food is just easy to get.
That's a good point. Yes. Unlike someone who is in Europe, who because it's very cold, they don't actually move a lot. You have to reserve your energy
Definitely.
compared to here where you have to move a lot. So yes, that mismatch has led us to have what we call today as the non-communicable diseases, NCDs, diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, cholesterol, arthritis, dementia, infertility, so many things,
Definitely.
including alcohol and substance abuse and addiction. Yeah,
Doctor, can you work on empathy?
it's a good question. Please,
Infertility.
it's a good
Yeah.
question. Yes.
Can you work on empathy?
I have some two clients who have just broken news to me just of recent that it's succeeded, but it is almost it goes back to our hormones
You know
by
why I
the way.
asked that?
Yes.
I have my friend,
Mm.
she has been married for over 16 years, officially married. But I'm trying to get a kid.
Yeah.
When they just told it, I think she got fibroid
Oh,
and they operated her.
oh yes, yes,
But she
yes.
told me that, and another time she got cyst.
Mm.
And that time she was planning for IVF.
Hey.
So doctors, I told her, they first operate the cyst, and then she comes back. And she told me the challenge is whenever they operate her, those fibroids come back
Mm.
immediately.
Okay. All right.
So
All
is there
right.
any possibility for her?
Yes, yes, yes. It is what we deal with. I think
Because
it's
she has tried.
yeah,
They have tried.
it's a big topic. We
Because
shall have a day where we'll discuss it. But as of now, infertility is becoming more common. Infertility
So
is
much.
increasing, and just like I was saying, it's part of these diseases. The more you have obesity, the more you have fat in the body, the more the hormones, the natural hormones which contribute to reproduction, also start malfunctioning, not the way they were supposed to work. So fibroids is one of the diseases which is common. Another one which we have is what we call polycystic ovarian syndrome. The cysts, now you talked about the cysts, that's also another common disease. Another one which we have is also what's called endometriosis, where women start having a lot of pain when during the menstrual period because the uterus has moved
It's
to,
not
to,
real.
the, to the different parts of the body. So actually, the uterus can even go to the lungs, can move. Even cancers, women cancers, which are becoming more common. So all these years diseases are also part of this family of lifestyle diseases. And if you can manage, just like you were saying, you have chance of recovering from it. You have chance of recovering. Because the older you get,
The older you
the
get,
less the
the
chances.
chances of getting it are better.
Yes.
And
yes,
the more the hormones
God
drops
can make
down,
miracles. But
Ooh, true also that one.
now, always, why are they always cut?
Mm.
Don't you think that becomes a scar, blocking the tube?
sometimes it happens.
Mhm.
Actually, once they are removing those cysts and fibroids,
Yeah.
they grow just within the
Yes, the
uterus
tubes.
inside them.
Mm.
Actually, it might not be the tubes. Sometimes it is the tubes. Sometimes it is the uterus itself.
Yeah.
and where they remove them, of course, it remains a scar.
which
And
is true.
once it remains a scar, sometimes once it reaches, let's say somebody has conceived properly, an egg came, and let's say this egg was supposed to embed itself on the endometrium,
Yeah.
on the wall of the uterus, and it finds a scar. It just melts it out.
Yeah, yeah. I think it also cuts across. We don't just deal with the body, but with the mind, with the spirit. So some of these concepts are beyond the body.
The physical body.
Yeah, they are. If someone actually has infertility for whatever reason, yeah, I think the part of coming to terms with it, accepting, and it is hard, but I guess so is life. We all have our challenge. Yeah.
Maybe also it's not good only to focus that maybe doctor has told me to swallow chlomid, told me to swallow these drugs. These things are so complex to manage them within one dimension. You have to focus on very many things. For example, if we say it is hormonal, which is causing that, how best can we improve on this person's hormones? Has she tried to do some of these things we have been talking about? Exercise, good nutrition. The more you reduce on those
Risk factors.
risk factors or toxins even in the body, that would harm our cells and other things, even hormones, which would alter hormonal balances.
Yeah.
It can give you a clear whatever after.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I think it's a big discussion. We shall have a day where we will talk about infertility. It's very common. I think yeah, we shall discuss, especially because even it's not just that's also the other thing. It's not just about women, as society believes, but also yes, actually a lot of men. It even goes to say a third of infertility is because of women alone, a third is because of men alone, a third is sort of a both. That is the but yes, these days both sides are increasing. As also men are having these conditions, they also having more infertility. Same thing with women as they're getting. Uh, yeah, but even things like contraceptives, which also play a role in the long run. But anyway, we shall have a little talk about it. So yeah, I think this was just a topic today about how our ancestors, our hereditary, our parents contribute to our health, and we shall be aware of it. But also, it should not make us discouraged. It should also inspire us to put the effort. Uh, so, take a photo.
It's fine.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we shall discuss more, and hopefully, in the long run, we shall be able to do genetic tests. You never know; you can discover there are some specific genes which can actually tell you which diseases you might have, like dementia, forgetfulness. There are genes for it. Cancers, all the cancers have their genes. So there are a lot of genes out there. Mutation is what we call, which is when a gene is
Changing.
yeah, the gene is damaged, so it's doing what it's not supposed to do. Yeah, and then
Starts changing.
yeah,
What I was talking about, they even stop responding to some hormones within the body
yeah.
because they have changed, because they have been affected. They are now sick.
Yeah. Now that's why you have now a lot of these kid diseases of children now. A child is born with what we call syndrome. Some have autism. You see, some cannot walk. Others have issues with brain, eyes, legs. So yeah, there are those genetic or what you call those malformations of the body. The body is not the way it's supposed to be. Uh, yeah, that is genetics. And if you're a believer, or as believers, I believe yes, you'll say some things are just part of faith, and you just have to deal with it the way life gives us. Yeah, but yeah, I thank you for listening, and I think we are done. If you don't mind, I want to take one quick photo of you listeners for our group. Yes, thank you. I think I will see you next. Anyway, I'm sure you'll have arrangements with him.
Yeah.
But every Saturday, we shall be doing this.
Yeah, you send them to me.
Yeah.
And even